What up, everyone? Shark here. Got a 2v2 for you today. I know, at least I feel, there's some angst with the meta in the current state, and everyone's kind of waiting for the update. This game is a little bit more fun, right? 2v2, 2 USF versus 2 DAK on Campbell's Convoy. What could go wrong? Passing this one with me is the Rather Splendid Cromwell, and that's it. Just watch the game. All right. Nice. So we've got double DAK here. Flokl in blue, dumbass in teal, up against USF on the kind of it's technically the northwest side of the map, but the left side of the map. NickTamAir in red, and then Leo Invictum in purple. Leo Invictum going armored right away. We're going to see a barracks and a weapon support center. But before we get too deep into this, Jamie, if you're double DAK and you see double USF in this meta, what are you thinking about? How does this balance out?
For me, this is a bit hard for me, Shark, because I'm not a DAK man myself. But the thing I'd be scared of if I was against double DAK is them doubling down on early mobility to try and wipe my capping units, like my scouts. Mm-hmm. I feel like if the Americans keep their scouts alive and keep their capping power alive, it's really hard to deal with them because they're so they're probably the best combat capping unit in the game right now, and because of the capping changes in the game, I feel like that's really strong. That's why the Pathfinder spam is so strong, because you can cap and fight at the same time. So I'd be worried about double DAK doubling down on some early mobility to wipe my early capping units. That's what I'd be worried about.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree, although I think this is a good map for Axis because it plays a little bit narrower than some of the other 2v2 maps. And so scout spam is not as much of a thing here because there's more clearly defined lanes. And you see Leo going for assault engineer 1919 and Zook, so balanced support weapon build. Meanwhile, you've got Jeep, a second scout, and a rifle for NickTam. On the opposite side, pretty balanced builds for the DAK. Dumbass going for his third Panzer Grenadier, which makes sense because he's going Espionage. And then Flokl has gone armored support, so he's gotten a second Pioneer and a 250. Both of these pretty meta builds. Wow, Panzer Pioneers force off the scouts in the south, despite the fact that the scouts are already at Vet 1 and they get that reduced accuracy buff. So that's a good pickup for the DAK side, although the scouts already on the Axis fuel here.
Yeah, I really like the Jeep against DAK. I just feel like it helps that ratio, that bleed ratio, where you're not always trading models for HP against DAK. You're actually using that Jeep to even the balance, as it were.
Yeah, I think DAK struggles more against a weapon support center start than a barracks start, just because the rifleman can bleed, whereas the 1919 is so resistant and the bazookas so easily counter the 250, especially before the upgrades.
Yeah.
So. And the allies are going to successfully grab this fuel, and this is potentially problematic for the Axis because 13-minute Shermans are a thing in this meta, and that's what you don't want to see.
Yeah, sometimes I still think the shape we're in now is still better than like the 9 rifleman spam builds of last patch. I know it's still not perfect, but I think I prefer this to what it was before.
Yeah, I mostly agree with you. I actually am in the process of making a video where I talk about exactly why it doesn't feel good for Axis right now. I think it's primarily because as an Axis player, you are 100% in react mode for the first basically 10 minutes of the game. Oh, Jeep goes down to a very, very nice mine. Some aggressive placement there. So that's nice play clever from Flokl. Yeah, that's a great spot for a Jeep.
Well done.
And I honestly, I like this counter push from Dumbass here, right? I love his name. But he's basically saying, okay, we lost our fuel. Let me see if I can swing and collapse this other pocket. What's really frustrating is with the basic damage reduction on the 1919, he's not really able to bleed many models here. He's at least collapsed the initial position. Oh, these assault engineers, though, they are...
Leo, very sloppy play. Really sloppy. That's definitely going to die.
Oh, yeah. Panzergens pick it up. The flamethrower doesn't drop though. And then, yeah, Dumbass is going to take that and get out of there, which I think is the right move. But that created enough space for Flokl to come in and grab this fuel here. See, Flokl's going fire support elements. I think that's really interesting. I really expected him to go mechanized company.
Oh, ooh, here's that early mobility we were talking about. Trying to run down those riflemen.
Clown car.
Trying to cause some problems, yeah.
Hilarious. It's backing up and doing damage to the captain with the machine gun.
I'm not sure. I think there's a possibility he gets hit. It doesn't look good.
The problem with the flamethrower on the move is the damage over time doesn't really help, and so by backing up the vehicle, you're not getting the DPS from the MG. Oh, it gets 2 more models, but really not going to be enough. Yeah.
Or really lucky, depending on what team you're favoring. But yeah, it's unfortunate. See, taking the risk that it hasn't got grenades. Yeah,
NickTam does not have grenades, and actually this push could bleed him quite a bit. Meanwhile, Flokl has already gone for the field repairs and the combat half-track, so extra armor on that half-track and extra repair ability. Yeah,
3 M1919s, by the way. I do not like this.
No, this is
very cheese.
This is brutal. Good mine again. This time from Dumbass on the VP, but the Allies still firmly in the driver's seat from a VP perspective. Yeah, what makes these MGs so oppressive is the damage reduction that they get right out the gate, because they just
hate damage reduction, man.
Dude, really I despise it as a mechanic.
I really dislike it.
You know, reduced accuracy, cool. A veterancy ability when you're in cover, okay, but right out the gate, it makes them very hard to unseat, even when you're playing properly, and I think that's what drives me crazy. You have a mortar, you have an LEIG, you have units in green cover, but they still just can't burn down the machine gun.
Yeah, I try not to be biased when watching these things, but when I see something like this, I want it to lose like instantly. I just want it to, I want it to not succeed, essentially.
Well,
this guy's getting so low. I don't know what he's doing. Super sloppy play.
Yeah, big pickup from the Panzer Grenadiers. That's another unit lost for Leo. And I mean, of all the factions right now in the 1 and 2v2 game modes, USF can deal the most with some of these early mistakes, but it still is not good at this high a level of play. Stuff like that will come back and bite you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's using the camo to try and sneak up on these M1919s, trying to find a gap between them. Leo's got one not set up, which I think is going to be his undoing.
Oh, he's got them layered here. Classic defense in depth. One of the Panzer Grenadier squad shoots. Now the rest of them. Oh, but good flank here by one squad. But this other machine gun's going to turn and face, and he'll probably be able to suppress. And a third behind it. Yeah, that's... Oh my gosh.
He's got 2 Zooks as well. He hasn't seen a single vehicle. But he... Oh, there is vehicles, but I don't think he's seen any.
Yeah.
He's got double Zooks, just in case.
Yeah, some of that's preparedness, and some of it's also... he's gone armored, he doesn't have a barracks, so... That's kind of his only option for dealing with if a light vehicle rush push does happen.
Nick is on full retreat. The 250 is running down 3 riflemen with the flamethrower. There's potential for a wipe here. It's exactly... Oh, no!
Well placed AT gun.
Does it kill the whole squad?
No, the Pioneer squad's going to get away.
Thank God.
But, oh my gosh, a P-Grand squad goes down. I missed it. I don't know if it... Like, the Zook squads were right on top of it. There's no way.
It was the Zooks. It was, dude. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check the stats of these guys. Take off tournament mode.
Yeah. Dumbass gonna react with a flak for Ling, which, and again, it'll the damage it does to the machine gun with that damage reduction, plenty of time for it to react. However, Flokl's done a great job retaking the center here. Nick's gonna harass with scouts on the flank, but Nick owning the center position definitely helps. You do feel like Dumbass here is a little bit on the ropes, just unable to deal with these 1919s, and you know, last patch the answer would have been an LEIG, but I don't know that the LEIG will do enough damage, especially with the layered machine guns. You can't even really go for the smoke, because another machine gun right behind it will do what it needs to do.
Oh, the flak track's dead. it dies to Nick's AT gun.
Oh man, what a shot!
Yeah. It's funny because Nick started playing like last patch. It's like a super heavy infantry build with 2 double AT guns to carry him through, and it's working for him. Yeah, at least in this patch they're applying some bleed to the rifles, which is nice.
Yeah, I think it is still very much a viable strategy, especially if you micro the AT guns well.
Yeah.
Which he has been doing, like having them set up and not moving them across the map. Rifles are still very strong. I think they just don't scale very well, especially against Panzer Grenadiers in the late game, but they still have a lot of utility, and you can use them to apply, like as a tempo build. They're fantastic.
Yeah. You know, it's 11 minutes, and there's no light vehicle from Nick, and there's no bars either.
Leo's just now going for a support center. He's going air support center. Meanwhile, Nick has got his tier 4 on the build. And
oh, wow, okay.
Enough fuel that we can see, again, a Sherman by the 13 or the 14-minute mark, which is a little insane.
Did Nick build a motor pool? Oh, for his AT guns, of course, yeah.
Wow, the fact that he's had the fuel to build a motor pool and then he's got tier 4 on the way out. Yeah, that early fuel pickup. And he's using the flares and the AT guns really, really well to threaten the utility truck for the DAK. Flokl is doing a great job being flexible and moving around back and forth. Now we're seeing the recce run come across. Yeah, it's not the Flakfurling's not going to be able to knock down the recce run. Oh, never mind. I take it back. So it made it about 2/3 of the way across the map. It's some nice veterancy for the Flakfurling to stack up. But now at least Leo knows where Dumbass is set up.
Yeah. Oh my God, 3 bazookas. What on earth?
Now, the Zooks, they can do a lot of damage to these light vehicles, but they will bleed. As you see, one squad almost goes down.
Yeah.
But Dumbass is going to have to invest in some vehicle protections here. He's got the survival kits upgraded, as does Flokl. So the combination of the Zooks and all these machine guns, it's like the hard counter to your hard counter, right? Like, okay, I'm going to push with Panzer Grenadiers. They get suppressed. The Zooks come out and they hit your light vehicles. It's got to be very frustrating to deal with.
Yeah, Leo literally has 4 machine guns and 4 Zooks.
Oh
and an
my
engineer
gosh.
squad. Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, and he hasn't built anything but the weapon support center.
Oh my God. Is he locked in it? Yeah, just the assault armored battle group. I guess he's just got to stall for the call-in
for the
Easy
8. Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that's a problem. The fact that you can get by straight into tier 4 with this kind of play is really tilting if you're on the Axis side. Meanwhile, I love this from Flokl. He's taken his half tracks and he's converted both. Oh, scouts wiped out. He's converted them both into mortar tracks, which is a great counter to these AT guns. So, sorry, Orange Pest. This is just another weakness of the motor pool for USF. Might as well just spam Zook squads and half tracks, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I think if Nick was going to do this, you'd just go airborne, skip the mortar pool, and just drop the AT guns in, right?
You could, you absolutely could.
Strategy.
Yeah, he doesn't have airborne in his build.
Oh, okay, smart.
Yeah, which, I respect not directly cheesing like that. Yeah. If anything, he's basically playing a pretty standard USF build. Rifles, AT guns into Shermans. First Sherman on the way now. Leo is going for a tank depot, so we are likely going to see the production version of the Easy 8 for him. Yep, nice, there it is. It's unlocked. Yeah, Flokl's done a fantastic job. So, very good demonstration of how, as DAK, to deal with the more meta rifle build. Oh, I think we're going to see a dive bomb in here on the Flakfurling. Everything's moving kind of out of the way.
Oh, it was.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah, good dodge. A couple models on that that AT gun, but good dodge there. Sherman's gonna get snared. Flokl was trying to pick up these AT guns. They're almost certainly gonna get cleared. I wonder if he's gonna be able to set up these Pak 38s to get shots off on the Sherman. It's really funny to me. One shot onto the front there. Really funny to me that Flokl has invested so much in the Pak 38s. You'd expect Dumbass to do that with the incendiary rounds. Sherman's gonna be forced away for repairs. Yeah. And now we're gonna see a walking Stuka from Dumbass here, which I think is his. This is how he's gonna attempt to deal with all these blobbed up machine guns.
I'm surprised Nick didn't try and cut his losses and just try and save his weapons instead of going for this weird frontal attack. Oh, he's going to lose his Sherman here. I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it.
I think he maybe thought he had an advantage. Oh, no. Oh, rifle squad gunned down by the P-Grens.
You know what he could have done? Pop smoke. He's got smoke on his
Sherman.
He really,
yeah. That makes the Sherman really, really good these days.
I was waiting for it and it just never came. Oh, is this his skill planes? Is he locked in?
No, something? What is that? Oh, that's the anti-infantry strafe. Oh, that's brutal. Funk Panzerwagen gets knocked out by Zooks. One Zook squad knocked out. At least these flak fillings are on the field to do some damage to this anti-infantry strafe.
Yeah, it's true.
Walking Stuka.
It's dead. He killed the strafe.
Walking Stuka only got one shot off. Oh no. The flak filling's got to get out of here.
I'm just going to wipe the AT guns finally. Or AT gun, rather.
Yeah. Knocked one out. But these Zooks, man, they just, especially supported by the MGs, they can just run at the DAK player. I shudder to think what would have happened if Leo had gone for the infantry support center and gotten the survivability upgrade for those Zook squads.
Yeah. He's going to lose an M1919, though.
Yeah. Although the Zooks had that flak filling penned in, although it looks like it's going to get away now. And support weapon cheese. First Easy 8 on the way. Second 75 mil Sherman on the way for Nick. So DAK players doing a good job coping. But it feels like that's more or less what they're doing here. They are... Oh, Zook on the assault engineers. Just one more unit you gotta watch. Dumbass kind of playing with fire here, keeping the flak filling up so far. Because remember, when the Zooks are set up, they can outrange the flak filling, and Dumbass is microing it by reversing it forward, which can inadvertently lead to it getting going a little further than you might think. One machine gun is cleared, but at least he's got the panzer guns to pick it up. Zook's trying to knock it out.
Kill his own machine gun.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Flokl clears another M1AT gun. Yeah, here's the Sherman smoke, but it comes in too late. I really want to see this walking Stuka just put down some of these machine guns.
You know what's weird is he's got so many Zook squads, but we haven't seen any use of phosphorus at all.
I wonder if he's gone for the satchel. What do you think of Nick's choice to go special operations?
I feel like it was panic. I feel like he panic went special operations so he could drop the anti-infantry loiter to try and save his AT guns. I don't think he had a... That's what it felt like to me. I don't think he had like a plan.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think it gives him a whole lot in the late game. He's already got the rifles, and he's not really dealing with a flux of infantry, so it's not like he necessarily needs the commandos. Yeah,
I feel like if you're going special ops, it's like you have a plan from the start, and you're doing stuff with the Weasel or the Pat Cowie, or you're going infantry company and you're using the commandos somehow.
Yeah,
you know, he's just... I don't know. He's just like, I need cover to get this AT gun. That's what it feels like.
Oh, Sherman's on the flank, but the combination of the incendiary grenade and the Pak 38 does a fair amount of damage. But
nice use of smoke.
Dumbass is getting doubled here. Easy 8 pushing up as well. But the Dumbass is doing a good job of backing out and not trying to fight here and consolidate. And so he's going to end up forcing back these allied tanks.
He's going for a big flank here, it looks like, trying to help his teammate with his AT guns in the middle.
Yeah, they're in a good spot. He's also going armored reserves, and now he's cashing up some of these fuel points.
Oh, man, these riflemen are just not doing very well. Just invested nothing into them. Most of them are dead. He's only got 2 riflemen left.
Yeah, they provide some utility with the snares, but I think especially as the DAK infantry level up, and you've got some of these DAK vehicles that can just burn them down as they approach, the rifles just don't scale as well, which is why it feels like the American battle groups with the elite infantry do better in the late game. Support weapons to start, and then paras or commandos or rangers later. They're a little hardier. He has the option to go for survival training, which he hasn't done. In fact, he doesn't have anything from the infantry support center, which, given the amount of fuel control he has, yeah, I mean, with the rifles at least, I consider my thing, as I know you're also a big fan, the demolitions package for the big mine. Oh, look at this attempted Zook ambush on the flank here. It gets found out by the Panzer Grenadiers.
I think he fat fingers and retreats them both. I don't know why he did that.
They're also not on prioritized vehicles, which is causing them to waste their shots on these Panzer Grenadiers.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a whiz-bang from NickTam. Walking Stuka coming in.
Oh, thank God.
Honestly, it does very little to that MG.
I think it was really unfortunate. Like, look at the scatter. It hit everything but the MGs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a perfect circle around them. It's tragic.
Well, and that MG gets another 30% damage reduction at Vet 3. So.
Oh, God.
Oh, strafing run pins the Panzer Grenadiers. Oh, Nick has lost his captain, but Dumbass has done a great job. He just gunned down in 1919 on a retreat.
See.
And he's grabbing up this point. There is an MG bunker on the very flank, but I don't expect that to last very long.
It's in a weird spot.
Yeah. Oh, the engineers pick up the 1918. 2 Easy 8s now on the field for Leo, and a Wrecker. Oh, man. Oh, no, these Pioneers getting shot at. Panzer Pioneers lost on the Muni point.
Tragedy.
He's got an 88 shooting at the machine gun bunker.
I want to see this whiz-bang hit something. There's a big target here. I'm sure you and I can both see it.
Right on the Pack 38s.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
1 cleared. 2 cleared. Pack 38's taking a lot of damage. Panzer 4 on the field. A rifle squad's going to get gunned down. These assault grenadiers got to be careful, though. They are way out of position.
I feel like...
he just runs in.
I think the Shermans have a different... What's going on?
They're throwing a single grenade.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Recruit the AT guns so quickly.
Yeah, he did. Actually, I love this from the DAK players. They've got basically AT hardpoints on either side of mid. They could very quickly pinch these allied players. You see the 88 looks like it's moving into mid as well. Yeah.
I feel like the Allies should have kept going there. You should use the smoke on the Shermans on the AT guns and just push through with all 4 Shermans to fight the... Was it like a P4? Like, come on, dude. Like, what was it with the cold feet? Were they worried about mines, maybe?
I think maybe they are... my guess is they're concerned that they can't actually win the fight. And at this point, I am concerned for the Allied players. I think they've lost the initiative. The Axis starting to get some heavy vehicles out on the field, some serious AT. The Flak 36 with the incendiary rounds is just insane. The first strike bonus from the intelligence beacons, also really powerful. Leo almost loses another assault engineer here in the middle. Good smoke onto the Pack 38s. Walking Stuka Barrage comes in, does some decent casualties,
nice
but doesn't stem the charge here. But I think Leo now is he's kind of caught out because he doesn't have the late game kind of infantry, the ability to hold ground with his infantry. The Zooks can do damage to light vehicles, but they will also bleed considerably, especially without some of the infantry support center upgrades. Shooting at Panzer Grenadiers, Vet 3 Panzer Grenadiers with Zooks is not going to win you anything.
Yeah, that build, Leo's build feels almost like StarCraft-esque, you know? These are my anti-infantry units, and these are my anti-tank units. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really like it.
Nick
like
loses another scout squad up on the northeast side of the map. Oh, Whizbang coming in on the AT guns again. Great use of the flares to find targets. Oh, these Panzer Grenadiers have to retreat through the Whizbang barrage. But RNGesus is kind, so they're going to get away. Double Sherman's pushing on the Panzer IV. Pack 38s are there to support. Oh, big salvo comes in to knock out the Sherman. The Whizbang is also up here for some reason. One of the two.
Oh, another Easy 8 goes down.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
And the other one, the third,
oh,
the 88 in the middle is absolutely savaging these vehicles. The Wrecker now looking for work. Out of things to repair. The 88 sees that as well. Oh, Snare comes in on the Wrecker. Another one. That Wrecker's done. Yep.
I think it's GG. Like, you know what? I know, like, we're supposed to be biased, but good riddance. like I'm happy with this result. Like, this is and I don't even play DAK, so I've got no back DAK dies whatsoever. It's like literally the one faction I'm not interested.
Well, don't speak too soon, because Panzer IV just gets knocked out by Nick on a nice attack round from the Sherman. It does feel like the DAK players are in the driver's seat here. Oh, they found these 1919s. Walking Stuka coming in.
Ooh.
They get out of there just in time. DAK on the triple cap. So we got 2 minutes of VPs left for the Axis team. I think, though, the DAK players have assembled this like late game AT, and they've made it really, really challenging for the allies who are really leaning on those Shermans to do much work. Yeah. This so the med truck conversion, you gotta be careful because it actually drops its health down to the point where it can be one shot. Whizbang barrage comes in on the Flak 36, who then immediately shoots the Whizbang. Both Whizbangs take hits and are getting burned by the incendiary rounds. And Flak 36 survives that barrage.
That's weird. That was a weird interaction.
Yes. Wow, 1919 getting burned down by 2 Vet 3 1919s. Oh, creeping barrage coming in from the Walking Stuka.
Oh, please.
Oh, it's on the VP.
Oh, trying to start. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I respect it.
It is so much more accurate. Oh, man.
Oh.
The engineer down to a single model. Oh, and now we see a Tiger and a command tank from Flokl. So this does not bode well. Rifles going, a brand new rifle squad going for the mid VP, just going to get mowed down by these Panzer Grenadiers. The allies with an engineer squad secure the southwest VP, but they're going to have to retreat. Oh man, big hits. Those are the mortar half tracks burning out those 1919s.
Beautiful.
Leo has a rifle squad out now?
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. He's got a ton of resources.
Yeah, he does.
What? But no tanks on the field. I'm very confused.
No, the command tank. Oh.
Command Panzer annihilated by Zooks and an AT gun. Here comes the Whizbang on the Flak 36 cleared. Tiger says, I don't care about your bazookas. And knocks out 2 bazooka squads. P-Grants are going to advance and deal with this AT gun. Tiger moving up as well. It just literally tanks a shot from this M1. And then M1's finally cleared. And then you've got Dumbass needs to upgrade rapid advance on his flak filling so he can use it to cap that southern VP.
Are these Shermans Calliopes with the? Yeah, they popped the top.
They were. He jettisoned the top on both of them.
That's so cool.
Inadvisable. Yeah, and looks like this is going to be GG here. The DAK players have clawed it back. Flokl now getting a forward retreat point on one of his caches. Okay. just to make absolutely sure.
Huge disrespect.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, Shark, I think what's his name? Leo got what he deserved. Just saying. Just say.
Okay, we're back, rolling straight into the post match. Just for a quick kind of build order theme review for this one. So you had Flokl playing kind of the standard armored support Battlegroup build for the DAK, 2 Panzer Pioneers, half track early into tier 2 build, Pack 38s, Flak for Ling, and then tier 4, the armored reserves, going Panzer 4, then eventually Tiger and command tank. He did a lot with his infantry. Not a mechanized heavy build, which I thought was interesting, but he was able to manage it fairly well against the kind of rifle play from Nick. Dumbass, on the other hand, went Espionage, so a pretty standard Espionage build there. You see the 3 Panzer Grenadiers at the start. Eventually got a Flak for Ling out, started to get some Pack 38s. Went for the Flak 36 at the end of the game, and as well as the Walking Stuka. The Flak 36, I think, works really, really nicely with the Espionage battle group if you know how to use it. So he set that up really well. And on the opposite side, we'll start with the non-cancer build first. So NickTamAir rolling with Jamie. I think you described it as last patch's USF build. So yeah. Jeep 3 rifles, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the last patch's USF build bit, like without the mass, because the changes to manpower reduction, and he doesn't get the manpower cheats either. And I don't know, he was going for the motor pool 2 AT gun stall, and it was kind of all working out for him. But I think the problem is he was doing all that tech skipping, and he fell a little bit too far behind. Just before he got his Shermans out, he was losing his AT guns, he was losing his riflemen. Mm-hmm. There was no light vehicles, right? So he skipped all of his light vehicles. So there's no bridge between A and C. There's no cool Greyhound running around. There's no half track supporting his infantry, and it all just falls apart for him. And the build he loses too much infantry. The 250s are running down. There's some really nice play with the Flak half track to shut down his infantry pushes. And yeah, he was sort of playing in the past and relying on his AT guns, and it just wasn't really working out for him.
Yeah, and I think that build really highlights some of the issues that USF can have in the late game. I think based on how he played it, he was like, oh, the only way I can deal with the way Flokl is built out, especially with the Pack 38s and the Grenadiers, is like, I need artillery. Well, USF, for whatever reason, doesn't get great late game artillery without a battle group, so either the Whiz Bang or the Ranger M2A1 howitzer. That might have been an option. He goes SSF Commandos. It looked initially like kind of a panic button there, but I think that ultimately ends up kind of leading to his downfall a little bit. He went Infantry Support Center, but didn't get any of the upgrades, and he basically just got outscaled in the late game. The rifles don't scale as well. They bleed a lot to the vehicles. The Shermans with the 75s are fine against the light and mid-range vehicles, but they start to lose to the P4, definitely lose to the Tiger, etc.
I feel like with rifles as well, he was sort of just dabbling. You can't just dabble in rifles, right? You're either building them and you're investing in them, or you're not building them, right? Yeah. He's built them and then just kind of like left them vanilla, and you can't just leave them vanilla.
Yeah,
they have power spikes, and you need to hit the timings to get those spikes. He got 0 spikes. It wasn't great.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say on that, I feel like the rifle heavy build is an approach to spreading out your opponent, right? Like lately we see a lot of stuff. If you go Weapon Support Center, use Scouts or Pathfinders or Assault Engineers to do it, or you can use rifles as like vanilla USF, right? You spread out your enemy, you win the one-on-one infantry fights, especially against support units, and you use that as a tempo build to drive to get early into the late game and basically push your opponent off the map. If you can't do that, then you immediately start to kind of fall back. And as long as if you start throwing units away, you make mistakes. And Flokl's the kind of player who's going to capitalize on micro mistakes like that. You'll just start to slowly lose as you get into the late game. And then over to Leo Invictum. To his credit, because I've played against this guy a couple of times, he doesn't always do the same thing. And his builds are usually kind of unexpected. They feel very cheesy and not always fun to play against. But in his defense, he's not just like, I'm going to do the same thing every game and you're going to hate me for it. You get frustrated because you're like, there's no way this should work. You're not playing the game the way you're supposed to play the game. So, yeah. I mean, we saw it. Assault Engineers, 4 1919s into 4 Zooks, and then Air Support Center, and then Easy 8s. like that, and like that's his build.
It's funny, when I saw his first 4 units, I thought, oh, this guy's got like a really nice, well-rounded, balanced build. I'm really interested to see what else he builds. And he just didn't build anything else. He just kept building those same like 2-3 things. And I think what he was doing is like the Allied equivalent of spamming bunkers. You know what I mean? That's sort of like that's sort of that nauseating feeling you get when you realize what you're up against is like, oh, get me out of this game. Like, this is. Even if you win, you still feel like tainted by the filthiness of it all.
I'm surprised he didn't go more into the half tracks though. I mean, rather than invest in the Zooks, they had such good fuel control. You get 1 half track with the quad 50 to deal with the infantry. You get a couple of half tracks with the 75 mil, and then now you can really challenge the light vehicles without bleeding as long as your micro is good. The quad 50 can burn down infantry and threaten the light vehicles.
I think both players should have done that, to be honest. Like, don't build mortar pool, get the weapon support center, crack out some half tracks to support your infantry. And there's lots of skill expression with those light vehicles as well. You know, and especially in a map like Campbell's Convoy, where there's lots of open ground to run things down. You know, there's a lot of room to outmaneuver AT guns. And I don't know, they just didn't do any of that stuff. You know, it was a bit sad.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the way the DAK players hung in there. Right, a lot of early pressure. They lost their fuel early. So first off, Flokl, that nasty mine on like the opponent's back in the back half of the map on a lateral like traversing route, catching the Jeep. That's huge. That's a great early game pickup to relieve some of the pressure. And then dumbass. Sorry, the name cracks me up. Dumbass just hanging in, not overextending, because I think that is where I would have run into trouble, is just really pressing, but doing enough to allow Flokl to kind of dominate his side of the map, and then waiting until he had the units and the composition that he needed to start making big pushes. And then once they made those pushes, they didn't cede ground. You know, that, and I think like that's huge. They set up that big kill zone, and the way Campbell's Convoy is set up, if you can start to funnel the opponent back into their base, there's no way they can fight out of that. I don't know. I'm still just impressed that dumbass managed that. After see like how many times you run into like what the defense in depth of 1919s that refuse to die. Like, crap.
True. Never mind 4 of them.
Yeah. The other thing, the Zooks, I hear a lot of people complaining about Zooks, and they can be really strong in the early game, but even with the improved rockets, their penetration's not great, and they do bleed. And then the DAK P-Grans especially, they get really high DPS as they vet up and they get that LMG. As long as you can shoot at the Zooks and you're not suppressed, you can really burn them down. But then, so I think we pointed out some weird choices from Leo in the end. He had floating a lot of resources, getting rifles out. I'm not really sure kind of what happened there.
The rifle build was so strange.
Yeah.
Maybe he had like an aneurysm or something.
Or maybe he's just having fun. He's like,
that's true.
I accomplished what I wanted to this game. Right? I gave dumbass an aneurysm. This mission complete. Oh goodness. Anything else that you took away from this?
I like to think there's not just a victory by these players, but it's also a moral victory for conventional builds. And I think justice has been done today. That's what I'll say. Okay.
Well, we will end on that. Very well said. Thanks for casting this one with me, Jamie. This was fun. This is fun to watch as long as the good guys prevailed.
You got me there.
But appreciate your time. Thanks for sitting through this one with me. And that's going to do it for us, gents. We will see y'all in the next one.
Ta-ta.